Hey you guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So, as you guys see from the title, I will be talking about the Austin Metcalf and Karmelo Anthony case. And initially, I did not even get into this case because over my break of mourning my uncle, I didn't really get into politics much, but this has really blew up, honestly. This whole entire thing has blew up and it has gotten really nasty. I mean, very nasty, where I have no choice to come on here and just talk about this, because honestly it's a very sad situation. And before I start my video, I do want to give my condolences to the Metcalf family, because talking about someone that you do not know, and that's really what everyone is doing on the internet. They talking about people that they do not know, and they're being very disrespectful, very, very inhumane. And I just want to, humanize them, because they are people too, and it's so sad. And it honestly, it makes me want to cry, because it's someone's child, boy, and that was senselessly taken out of her. And I feel like a lot of people are just looking at this as in a very inhumane eye, and it's gross. And I wanted to start that off with this video. But before we get started, I just want to let you guys know that I am going to go into this very unbiased. I will be playing devil's advocate. I won't be going into this in a lens of like right or left, because I kind of want to get away from that. I kind of just want to come in it with just as a person with a brain, okay? And a person that comes from a place of morality, what's right and what's wrong. So if you're into that, continue to watch. So as you guys know, this case has taken place in Fresco, Texas, at the Fresco High School. So there was a track meet on April 2nd, 2025, where Prosper High School had their students and their team to go to a track meet for a championship. It was a district championship at the Fresco High School, where the Fresco students were also on the field to begin doing their track meet. This all started with Austin Metcalf. He saw Karmelo Anthony in a seat that wasn't supposedly under his memorial tent. And Austin Metcalf was deeply disturbed by it. He wanted Karmelo Anthony to move. And so Karmelo Anthony and Austin Metcalf got in a big argument over a seat. And when this all escalated, Karmelo Anthony, him and Austin Metcalf got into it, and Austin Metcalf attempted to move Karmelo Anthony. And you already know, like, if you have ever been in a fight before and someone says, "Put your hands on me," and you see what happens, you usually see what happens, okay? You usually see what happens. And Karmelo Anthony, he senselessly murdered Austin Metcalf over a seat. And this has transpired into a whole big story on social media and within the mainstream media, and it has blew up to be so disturbing. Can I just say this, because I think that this has not been talked about at all, but when I look at this situation, I look at Austin Metcalf and the way that he initially, had an issue with him over a seat, I thought that Austin Metcalf was in the wrong, in my opinion. Like, because you don't try to attempt to move anyone, especially if they say, "If you put your hands on me, see what happens." As a person who has been in numerous fights in my life, especially in my, when I was a child to my preteens, I've got numerous fights. And when I say, "Put your hands on me," and you see what fucking happens, they usually meet and see what fucking happens, because that's just how it is. And like, you just don't put your hands on one. And people are saying that Austin Metcalf didn't put his hands on him, but I don't believe that. For me, As a person who knows what that means, and a person, when someone puts their hands on them, they're going to do something, period. And if they didn't put their hands on them, they won't do anything. You know, they may talk shit, but they won't do anything. So I think allegedly, Austin Metcalf, he put his hands on Karmelo Anthony, and that resulted for him to reach in his backpack and to stab him into his chest and lead him to die. And do I think that Austin Metcalf deserved to die over a seat? No. I think that this could have been prevented by an adult. I don't understand why no one was watching those boys. I didn't hear anyone, witnesses. No one has said that coaches stepped in, any adults stepped in. It was initially, allegedly, Austin, his brother Hunter, who stepped in to, to de-escalate the situation, allegedly. And, it caused it to lead to how it was, where Karmelo Anthony stabbed Austin Metcalf in the chest. And I just want to say this, when I look at this, I'm like, how did Karmelo Anthony get a hold of a shiv, and why did he have a shiv? Why did he have a knife? I don't get it. Where was the security measures to look after and see if these boys had any type of weapons before coming on a championship track meet? You know what I mean? It's senseless how, and so fast, how this has, you can send your boy off to a track meet and then next thing you know, he's dead. Because I don't even know why. We still have no information on why Karmelo Anthony had that knife. I know it's in Texas, and for the most part, they're very pro-gun and pro-weapon, and I am too. But for a 17-year-old boy, why would he have a knife in his backpack? And it makes me very sad that Hunter Metcalf, he's never gonna get over it. I wouldn't get over it if my brother was senselessly murdered in front of me.
I'll say is, it's forgave, not forgotten, but I'm not at that point yet to forgive that kid for what he did to my brother. Because, 17 years, my best friend, just there in the blink of an eye, I lost him. So I'm not at that point to forgive and forget, but eventually I will. But I pray for his family. I pray that they understand what we're going through as well. I just pray for everybody.
And, this, when it should never happened, it was over a fucking seat, dude. Over a seat. And for me, when I look at this and I look at Austin Metcalf and Hunter Metcalf, both boys, they were so loved by everyone. They worked at a this Halo pizzeria with their mother. And after this, when, Austin Metcalf was murdered, the family has raised hundreds of thousands of dollars, for funeral costs and things like that. And even their church that they went to, they also raised money for them as well. And they were so loved, both boys, Austin Metcalf and Hunter Metcalf, loved equally. They were, they had scholarships. They had a 4.0 GPA. They were both on track. They were both on also doing football. I also think that he was a linebacker as well, Austin Metcalf. There was no information about Hunter Metcalf being a linebacker or anything like that, or what position he was in football. They even pronounced him to be the most valuable player of the team as well. And counselors, everyone, they said that he was well-mannered and polite and had no records of any type of behavioral issues whatsoever. And even they were raised as Christians, and it was raised on Christian values. It seemed like they loved to hunt. They were very family oriented. and were in the household of a two-parent household. Karmelo Anthony as well. He was, despite murdering Austin Metcalf, Karmelo Anthony wasn't no different from Austin Metcalf. Like, he wasn't some, down on his luck kid that was very, very poor. They both were middle class. Karmelo Anthony, his parents worked two jobs, and they have provided such, a very privileged life to Karmelo Anthony. He was a 3.97 GPA student. He was also very well loved, and many people also loved him and adored him, and thought that he was a very respectful and well-mannered kid. And he had no records of any type of behavioral issues as well. Both of these boys were literally one and the same. They're just different races, literally. And you see online, this has turned very ugly because this is a black on white situation. And, to see what people are saying online after a well-mannered, going to church, love sports, never had any issues with anyone, getting senselessly murdered by Karmelo Anthony. People are on Karmelo Anthony's side as if he is the victim. It's really disgusting, you guys. And what I want to talk about is the black community. I really do. Because, both of these boys, they were good kids. I really don't think that they had any type of issues. Do I think they were perfect boys? No boy is perfect at all. They're full of testosterone. I'm pretty sure they're doing some devious things. They just never got in trouble for it. If they did anything bad, on paper, they're good boys, but who knows what they were into after work or after school, or even not being in the presence of their parents. We all are, different when people that we love, such as our family or people, even our own friends, we're different people, and to see people online to be on the side of a person who murdered someone so senselessly is so sad. And I have many questions, because just like the father, when he was on on the media, he was talking about how this wasn't a race issue. This was two boys who got in an argument, and one of the boys murdered him because of who knows, anger. What is it? Adrenaline. Who knows? It wasn't a race thing, but they have made it a race thing. Social media, the media has made it a race thing.
I want to clarify something right off the start, because I've already heard some rumors and some gossip. This was not a race thing, and this is not a political thing. Please do not comment if you do not know what happened. Do not turn this into a racial thing. It was not. Do not politicize this. It's not. This is a human being thing. This person made a bad choice, and it affected both his family and my family.
And it's very, very sad, because you see people online, as the families have raised money for both of their boys. On the other end of Karmelo Anthony, you have black people who hate whites. Black people who hate whites donating to Karmelo Anthony for senselessly murdering a young boy, a 17-year-old boy that was a Gold Star child. And they're doing it out of the hatred of white people, and it's so fucking disgusting. It truly is. I cannot believe that this has turned into this big thing, and they're trying to put him as on this pedestal as he's on this George Floyd type of this was a George Floyd situation, when it wasn't. What makes me mad about this is how hypocritical everyone is. If this was a white boy that did this to a black boy, it would have been a whole different thing. It would have been blood on the streets, dude. Because people and buildings on fire, because Black people are fucking illiterate and in low IQ, okay? And they show that every day. Like, how can you sit here and be on the side of a boy who shouldn't get any praise, who should still be in jail, who should not get any type of bail for senselessly murdering like a young boy? I'm sorry. I truly, that's how I feel. And I think that anyone who senselessly murders someone like that, they should be locked up in jail for a very, very, very long time, not getting money raised from GoFundMe's and things like that, like getting hundreds of thousands of dollars just so they can like take the money and bail him out and like and make it something that he's like the victim. As you guys see, the father, he didn't want this initially to be the race thing, but I truly think it is about the race. I really do. And I think that that's how they're putting this as. And, you know, there has been so many issues going on with, like, you know, black people putting up flyers and saying now they want Hunter Metcalf to be arrested when he didn't even do anything. This is just solely out of hatred. And I see why the people that are, you know, on the Austin Metcalf side, which, to be honest, I feel like that's the most justified side to be on, when they're pointing out how senseless the black community is and how disastrous the black community is when it comes to these senseless murders. There's senseless murders every day, even black on black murdering and killing each other. And they're pointing out how, like, this is a repeated thing that we notice in black people. And what I would like to talk about is like the culture. And I think that I don't want to judge Karmelo Anthony or anything like that. I really don't. But, you know, just as what the father said in an interview, he said, who was their parents and who raised Karmelo Anthony?
I'm not trying to judge, but what kind of parents did this child have? What was he taught? He brought a knife to a track meet and he murdered my son by stabbing him in the heart. The guy was in the wrong place. They asked him to move and he bowed up. This is murder. I don't know. I know they have someone in custody.
Yeah, they do.
And you know what? I already forgive this person.
Already?
Already. God takes care of things. God's going to take care of me. God's going to take.
People may think that that doesn't matter, but I think that does matter. Who raised him? Why are you carrying around a shiv to a track meet? Who are you scared of? Were you doing it for it to be cool? Were you doing it for your own protection? Was someone actually bullying you? I mean, like Austin Metcalf and Hunter Metcalf, they were never in the same school as you. You go to Fresco High School. They went to Prosper High School. People are saying that they were bullying him and stuff like that, but I don't think so. I don't think so. I think that a kid thought that he had a big ego. He was being very imperfect and not the golden star that everyone is claiming that he is to be, which I don't doubt. He didn't want him to sit in the seat where under his memorial tent. He thought that he should have been on his own team's tent, and it ended up to his own death, unfortunately. And I really think that this is really opening up the conversation about blacks and how we are just like inherently very violent. Like, and no one wants to talk about it. You see it every day. You see it in the news. You see the theft. You see everything like this. And it makes me really sit back and point at Karmelo Anthony and be like, what was you influenced by? Who raised you? Who raised you? I would like to know. I would like to know, like, why were you feeling that way to carry around knives? It makes no sense. And to see the family back it up and, you know, and I think they really want to, you know, go into this as like, you know, this was self-defense. But I think that if Austin Metcalf allegedly pushed you, under the legal law of Texas, that doesn't really give him the leeway to take a knife and shove it in his chest. It just doesn't. It wasn't life-threatening. A push wasn't life-threatening. A verbal altercation isn't life-threatening. And I think that Karmelo Anthony, he thinks that, him pushing him, putting his hands on him initially without, to be honest, it's by witnesses only. I don't think there's any cameras on the field at Cooley Kendall, stadium. I don't. Especially if it's in a tent, it's very, very hard to prove whether, Austin Metcalf was, a life-threatening person during, the altercation with Karmelo Anthony. And, I think that the family wanted to push that. There was a family member that was claiming that he bullied him and, he had to do it in self-defense. And I think it's just a way to, to basically get the public onto their side, when I think that, no, this is a senseless act. And I think that Karmelo Anthony's going to go to jail for a very, very long time, despite he is on bail. And what's crazy is how the bail was $1 million, and now it was reduced by a black Republican. And that's what's so funny too. It's like black people, they don't care whether or not you are you're, if they're right wing or not, white, whatever, they're gonna go with their own race, regardless if they're wrong. And that's something that is very disgusting about all of this, because it's really shed a light on the black community, and it's making more and more people not see us in the good light at all. Because I think that, when they see multiple and so many people, especially the fundraising of Karmelo Anthony, them making t-shirts, them now living in a home that the rent is like $3,000 a month, and it's a $900,000 house, living in a gated community, allegedly by the New York Post, and selling t-shirts online. They're seeing how disgusting black people are being, and supporting that, and making something that he is an innocent boy, when he's the murderer. He is the killer. He's the killer. He's the fucking killer. Karmelo Anthony is the fucking killer. And these people are actually praising him, selling t-shirts and wearing t-shirts of him, saying justice for Karmelo Anthony. Are you fucking kidding me? And then you wonder why black people are frowned upon. Look at what you do. You try to make him be like this George Floyd figure, when he is the fucking killer. That's just the truth. I know that he's 17 years old and he ruined his life. The parents, they lost their boy. They lost Karmelo Anthony. Just as Austin Metcalf lost his life, the family also lost their boy as well. That boy's going to be locked up forever, and I hope he does. I hope he does. Because you just don't get to do that. And I would like, for anyone out here to think that he is, to actually think, give me a reason why he is in the right. He's not. He's a murderer. That's what he is. A murderer. And black people who support this and think that this is okay, it's not. It's not. The racial divide in this country over this, and white people are waking up to how disgusting black people really are, it's not going to look good for anyone. It's not. If you think that this is okay to celebrate and to praise that boy, you're dead wrong. Austin Metcalf was senselessly murdered. Do I think that Austin Metcalf was 100% in the right to try to force Karmelo Anthony allegedly to move and get out of a seat at this track meet? I don't think that he was 100% in the right. Like, who the fuck are you? I would feel the same way, You don't get to put your hands on anyone. You don't get to move anyone, because you're not no one. But this is crazy. It really, they hate white people. They truly do. Black people hate white people. Have y'all seen the GoFundMe messages? that these people have left underneath. Like, you can leave notes after you send money to people on GoFundMe's and, like, you know, these donation websites. There's black people like donating and saying like this is embedded in white people's race and DNA to hate blacks, and that, you know, they're calling them crackers or saying all kinds of disparaging things about white people. And it just goes to show that this is only about, like, this is only because Karmelo Anthony is black, and how the family is treated. Austin Metcalf's family is treated. They're treated horribly. Like, allegedly, recently, Jeff Metcalf, I think that's his name, he was on the news, and he was attending a press conference about Karmelo Anthony. Now, I don't know why he was there, knowing that there is so much tension. Maybe he wanted to go there and listen and see. I mean, he has every right to go and see if they're going to say anything disparaging about his son, Austin Metcalf, or even their family. In my opinion, I would too.
Metcalf telling WFAA he was just there to listen.
I'm not here to create a disturbance. I'm just here to stand by and witness this press conference.
And shook the hands of officers before leaving.
But he was recently escorted out of their press conference, and, you know, during that, the mother was talking about how their family is going through it, even though they have hundreds of $1,000s and moving in $900,000 homes in the gated community. Apparently having a new Escalade and things like that in the yard, but I think that has been confirmed that it was bought in 2023. But nevertheless, that doesn't matter. It seems like they're trying to play victim. I'm getting death threats. I'm getting death threats. My 13-year-old daughter can't even sleep in her bed.
Of this tragic incident, our family has been under attack. Whatever you think what happened between Karmelo and the Metcalf boys, my 3 younger children, my husband, and I didn't do anything to deserve to be threatened, harassed, and lied about. The lies and false accusations that have been said about us, especially over the past week, has been overwhelming. The lies and their amplification put my family in danger, as well as everyone in our community, everyone involved in the investigation, from the police, the attorneys, and the court staff. Our address and my husband's previous employer's address has been put on all social media platforms. My husband had to take a leave of absence because he's afraid what may happen to our family.
It's like, your son should never murdered the motherfucking child. Like, what are you talking about? That's why. What are you gonna think? And you're not coming out and talking about how detrimental the social media is and making this a race thing. And white people are tired of it. They're going to fucking come after you too. Because it seems like you agree with this. You think that that's okay. One of your family members, they lied on that boy with no evidence that the Austin Metcalf and Hunter Metcalf was bullies or bullying him. They weren't even in the same fucking school. So it's disturbing, honestly. But the Metcalf father, Jeff Metcalf, I think that's his name. If it ain't his name, I'm so sorry. He was escorted out of the press conference, and the police was called on him, all because he was there. And the representative of Karmelo Anthony, who has a long rap sheet, which I found to be very, very weird. I don't know if the Anthonys have, all the information on that man, but why does he have a long rap sheet? That's weird. And for him to make it seem like that is so disturbing and so crazy that, Metcalf's father was at the press conference and...
These are my words. Don't quote anybody. Is a disrespect to the dignity of his son.
He was later swatted. Thank God he wasn't home. He was swatted and called the police on at his home as well. It's crazy. It's wild what is happening. And this racial divide will only get worse because the black community, they play victim. Even though I'm black myself, I just think that we play victim. We hate white people so much. When really, and to be honest, we are influenced by the things that we consume ourselves, of the music that we like, of, you know, murdering effing bitches and getting money and saying fuck white people because we want to blame someone. We always want to play the fucking victim. But I'm sorry, Karmelo Anthony is not the victim. And what is the right thing to do is to not support him or his family, in my opinion. If they're not going to come out and be just like the father to forgive Karmelo Anthony, and to, you know, disregard this notion, then this narrative that it's all about, this is a race issue and was always a race issue, I think that the family is just as bad. And it goes to show who Karmelo Anthony was raised by. And that's just in my opinion, you know, and what I see. If they have came out and said anything about this and disregard the racial tension that's happening online, and why people are donating to him simply because he's black, Karmelo Anthony is black, I would like to see some actual, you know, pushback on that. I really would, because to me, it don't seem that way. It seems like they're playing victim. They are, you know, making it seem like that their child is like still this good boy, and he's not. And I wish that they would treat him as like a criminal, a child that they love unconditionally, but treat him like a criminal. They're not. And if it was my child, I would love him conditionally. I love her conditionally, but I wouldn't be breaking him out of jail. Sorry. I know he's 17 years old, but he's going to murder for first degree. He's going to jail for first degree murder. So he really shouldn't be rewarded. He shouldn't be welcome back home. Y'all should be going to visit him at the jail cell. When your children do bad things, they should never be rewarded. That only makes him feel like that he's in the right. As a 17-year-old boy, I'm pretty sure he feels like he's in the right because of how that escalated and the way that he defended himself. If you were such a big boy, why didn't you just use your fists like everyone else does? It was a very cowardly act, in my opinion. It really was. And I think that this would never been resolved. This would never happen in this way. Both of the boys could have been suspended. Coach could have got involved, de-escalated the situation, made them go home. That's it, done deal. But things don't go that way, you guys. And this story, it's unfortunate. I feel bad for the Metcalf family. I truly do. And it's really sad to see this boy, Karmelo Anthony, to throw his life away. He really ruined his whole entire life. He could have been somebody. He had goals to be in high school, college football. Who knows what he could have been? You know, you never know. But we will never know. He ruined his own life. I would like to, but you know, another thing too, I would like to point out. Prior to all this, Karmelo Anthony, he was not a guy that was, you know, misbehaving and things like that. I see a lot of right-wingers online, though, trying to make it sound like that he's like a thug because he's black, because he was holding like this Nerf gun with his two white friends. It's obvious that he wasn't racist. I just don't like this narrative on both sides, how they paint, you know, the boys, and people are making like fake posts about the Metcalf boys, saying that, you know, calling people the N-word and things like that. You guys, it's nasty on both sides. It really is, and I don't like it. This is a simple case. Like, Karmelo Anthony's in the wrong. Austin Metcalf is a victim. Once you murder someone, they turn to the victim. You can't. Karmelo Anthony is not the victim. That's all I can say about this, you guys. I think I'm done. And I think I explained and said my thoughts on this perfectly, as much as I could. All the things I could remember. What are your thoughts on this? I would like to know. I would love to know you guys' thoughts on this. Like, do you think that Austin Metcalf was in the wrong for initially, like, you know, starting the fight? Because in my opinion, he started the fight. He did, but does that mean that he should die for that? No. No. Like, murder never justifies anyone's mistakes or big ego to think that they can move or, you know, think they have authority over other people. You know what I mean? In verbal altercations. I just don't think that it results to that unless Karmelo Anthony was actually in danger. And I don't think that he was in danger, you guys. I don't. We'll see. I'm going to look more into this case. And if there's more things, I will come back on here and I will talk about it. But I love you guys so much. Thank you guys for watching. I really hope you have a blessed day and God be with you. Bye, you guys.